Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of X Malice along Aiji Yanagi's route. We're still only in chapter 3 of 7 chapters of his story, so we're not even halfway done. Not even seemingly really close to halfway done. But yeah, I mean, they said Yanagi was good at cooking in the other routes, but man, what he served us in that last video, whew! It really seems like he's a world-class chef here. Anyway, let's see if we're spending another night here or if he's gonna walk us home. You can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. You're right. I told you before that I've been involved in an incident as a child, right? Yeah, I really hope we get the story here. And for God's sake, Yanagi, just tell me your involvement. Well, I'm pretty sure he won't. That's what the nightmare was about. Lately, I've been having them often. Well, I guess I'm not going to explain it either. The stress of the X-Day crimes might have unconsciously dredged up old memories. They were a symbol of my unease. Are you okay? I heard the sound of breaking glass. Yanagi must have dropped something. When I rushed over, Yanagi was completely frozen still. Yanagi? It's almost like he was more traumatized by the event than me.
Yeah, I'm fine.
He slowly turned to face me. Huh? I trembled a little when he looked straight into my eyes. What is it? And we're just staring at each other. I don't know why he was looking at me that way, and I couldn't break the silence. For a while, we both stood there quietly. We both stood stock still, until Yanagi hesitantly opened his mouth to say something. But then, of course, there's always a but then, in the middle of things like this. Damn you, Enomoto, we're busy!
What's with the stare down? It's only ever seen in dramas.
You ruined it!
You're too loud, idiot. If you're going to be peeping Tom, keep it down.
Were you watching us too, Takeru?
But didn't you see that? Yanagi blushed after she praised his cooking.
Oh my god, how long have you two been watching?
Idiot. Like I give a crap. Though it's rare to see Yanagi embarrassed. So maybe you'll get hit by lightning tomorrow. You did see it!
From the next room, I could hear voices whispering loudly. The two of them were trying not to be heard, but they were being heard easily. If they saw Yanagi blushing too, then that means... How long had they been watching us? A long time, apparently. And Yanagi, why didn't you sense that? Yanagi let out a very heavy sigh, shaking his head.
Hey, you two. Say something when you arrive. Good timing. We're going over the latest incident. Yes, sir. Got it.
The topic was quickly steered over to the X-Day cases.
Hoshino, are you sure you don't want to get some more sleep?
No, I'll be fine. If you're talking about the latest case, then I went in.
Alright, but after this, make sure you rest.
Okay. He looked like he was really worried about me. Did I look that bad? I need to pull myself together. I could probably use a shower and stuff too, I imagine. Scolding myself, I sucked it up.
Then let's begin. Multiple incidents have transpired since the start of December, which means another is likely to happen again soon. I want to try and stop it before it happens. To do that, we need to organize what we know about the cases from the past several days. July's murder was by gunshot. The suspect was Manabu Soda, and the motive was online bullying. Rika Sugawara was suspected in August arson. Probability suggests the murder was related to a stalking incident in her past. We found connections to both the July and August incidents. They should be looking into that at the station. Yesterday, on the 11th, 3 people were shoved from the roof of a multi-tenant building. All died. According to the statement, the victims had pushed multiple people to suicide through acts such as harassment and overwork. The suspect is Hanako Kobayashi. It's thought she's behind the April and May crimes due to her obsession with Yasuhiro Ishiki. There's no visible motive here. Did the 3 victims wrong Ishiki somehow? Or were they killed on orders of Adonis? Probably the latter. Huh? Why? If the murders before November were substitute killings, Soda and Sugawara didn't lay a hand on the targets, so someone else did the deed. The killings this month she carried out herself without worrying about her tracks, but if Hanako Kobayashi was the perp in April and May, she should have already gotten her vengeance. So that's why the recent murders are likely to be on Adonis' orders. That would still keep Ishiki's hands clean. The most important bit is that all the arrested suspects seem to have had their memories erased.
This means that even if we capture them, the suspects can't leak any useful information, so that's why the crimes have gotten so cavalier. It feels like they're intentionally throwing away their pawns.
You're right. If Adonis is acting on their plan to create an event which shakes society, using their pawns like this is a good sacrifice.
So that implies the suspects who committed the X-Day crimes are people that Adonis doesn't consider important personnel?
There's nothing in any of their personal history which ties them to terrorism. So that would be the natural conclusion.
In other words, they're using civilians with no known connection to Adonis.
Yeah. Putting this differently, if Adonis doesn't need to be careful anymore, it's very likely that they'll act again soon. Drawing a thread between previous X-Day cases, the suspects in April, May, July, and August have all been captured. Leaving June, September, and November. We'll ask Shiraishi for his take on September. As for June and November, we'll need to dig deeper into the related people. If you're planning to track them down now, don't bring up the subject by beating around the bush. Yeah, this all feels pretty anticlimactic. We're just entertaining to Adonis. Not satisfying at all.
I had a feeling I knew why Sasazaka and Enomoto were making complicated expressions. Are you two looking at me? The people believed to be linked to the cases that the two of them were investigating had been caught in rapid succession. So they're out of the game. Well, join our case, guys. But so long as their memories were erased, they never shed light on Adonis itself, which would prevent us from solving the cases.
In the end, we're just dancing to their tune. If we only saw this because of a mistake, people blame the cops, but they're doing all they can. The intel you've acquired has been helpful in narrowing down the suspects, but catching one or two suspects won't lead to the reinstatement of the weapons ban. If we find Adonis, the government has to act. I know. Enomoto, I know this is complicated for you, but I need you to pitch in however you can. You got it. The situation is what it is. I can set aside my own issues. Hoshino, would you tell Enomoto everything you learned from Hanako Kobayashi's interview? Even if it isn't much, it's fine.
Understood. I hadn't contributed much so far, though. Enomoto and Sasazaka had been investigating their X-Day cases since they quit the force. Maybe this was about more than just catching the criminals for them. Maybe it held some greater significance. Well, you already know with Sasazaka he wants the gun law reinstated. It's complicated, isn't it? Even I could see why they might not exactly celebrate if the police caught the criminals. December 7 incident added to materials, and 8th, and 11th. Filling out that material section. Starting tomorrow, I'll go over everything Investigations HQ has on the June and November incidents in detail.
All right.
We strolled through the darkened streets. Yanagi accompanied me home today, too. But he seemed absent-minded, lost in thought somehow. Does that mean Okazaki's given up trying to walk me home? This is kind of awkward. I thought we'd been in a pretty good mood back when he had made me dinner. Maybe because our conversation was interrupted? Yes, it was very important. But I couldn't think of any topic to break the ice.
Hoshino!
Huh? While I was searching for a solution to my predicament, I heard a familiar voice call my name. I turned around to see... Oh, Saiki! I'm surprised! It was Saiki, of all people. He must have been out on patrol. His permanently cheery mood lifted my spirits a bit.
Didn't you leave work early today? Mochida was worried about you.
Well, yeah, I didn't sleep for a couple days and I barely ate. Yeah. I just had an errand to run. I figured I'd get it done since I was off early.
I
I attempted to misdirect Saiki with vagueness, giving him no particular reason to suspect me, yet his eyes twinkled. You suspect something? Then he looked at Yanagi standing next to me, and his eyes twinkled again. Then he abruptly returned to his senses.
I apologize for dropping in on you. I'm Saiki, Hoshino's coworker. Hello.
Yanagi didn't introduce himself in response to Saiki's casual greeting. It was probably because Saiki was a cop. It's probably for the best that he didn't.
Might you be Hoshino's older brother?
Don't you think he would know if I had an older brother? Eh? For some reason, Saiki just happened to take an interest in Yanagi. His eyes gleamed with curiosity as he studied Yanagi's face for a reaction. Why would he be my older brother? I only have a little brother.
Well, I guess he just seemed to have this brotherly air about him.
You sure that's not just your wishful thinking?
Maybe it's a dignified air, but standing next to each other, you completely seem like siblings.
I see. I had complex feelings about that opinion. He kind of treated me like a sister, and I didn't like it. It's not like I minded it, though. Oh, don't fool yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry for keeping you. Oh, I just saw you, so I thought I'd come say hi.
Oh, okay.
Well, take it easy.
You too, Saiki. And with that, Saiki dashed away. I waved as I watched him scamper off and then sighed. Sorry about that.
No need to apologize. It's okay. Still, you two get along awfully well. Does SRCPO work with police box officers often?
Oh, Saiki and I were academy classmates. We talked a lot, and then we became drinking buddies.
If you're always dealing with tough work, then you need a way to blow off stress.
Yeah, he's a dear friend who cheers me up when I'm feeling down.
I see. Sounds like he's a tolerant guy.
Yeah. Huh? Are you back to thinking about what you were thinking about before? I looked at Yanagi, who had gone quiet for some reason, as if he was thinking. He is. Then I remembered. Speaking of which, Enomoto, he thought that Saiki was my boyfriend. We were just colleagues, but maybe we were friendly enough that people misunderstood. Could Yanagi be making the same misunderstanding as Enomoto? Saiki is a good friend.
When
I said it emphatically, Yanagi tilted his head and blinked a bit. He's not a bad person, and, he's not my boyfriend.
Oh, so that's what you meant.
Yeah.
I'm not an Enomoto, so I don't go jumping to conclusions that easily.
Enomoto certainly was obstinate about it. No matter how many times you deny it. That's good to hear. People have read the situation wrong several times, but Saiki isn't one to take advantage.
So he's important enough to you that you feel like you have to defend him.
Huh?
You said he wasn't your boyfriend. So is it a one-sided relationship?
No. It's nothing like that at all. Saiki is just a really good friend.
Oh, alright, I get it. You can calm down.
Ooh. He smiled at my panicked denial. But it was an important distinction to make. Especially to someone you want to date. Which obviously I'm not admitting, but it's in the back of my mind.
If you're going to deny it that vehemently, it could cause him some pain. You know, he might have feelings for you.
I think he does. I'm pretty sure he does. Please don't tease me. One of those many, many guys that you want to date and just can't. I wondered why I had been so worried that he might take it the wrong way. 'Cause you want him. By the way, does the office ever go drinking as a group? I tried a little misdirection. You mean distraction?
Yeah, we do every now and then. And Enomoto and Sasaka don't mind alcohol.
What about you?
In fact, I rather enjoy a good drink.
What's your drink of choice? Wine? Whiskey?
Actually, I like most alcohol, but if I had to pick, I'd say sake.
What's your favorite?
Lately, Yamaguchi's Junmai Daiginjo has been... Wait, why are you asking all of a sudden?
Yanagi shot me a suspicious look as he noticed my unusual line of questioning. Oh, maybe I overdid it. I didn't know that much about Yanagi. That made sense since we'd only met recently. Lately, I wanted to know more about him since we were spending more time together. Well, because I'm your new partner for right now, we're working the cases together, and if we want to be able to be on the same wavelength, we need to know each other better. Things like your domestic skills, which I just learned about today, or your likes and dislikes, your hobbies. I want to learn whatever I can. I, hardly know anything about you. I voiced my feelings so directly, it was a bit embarrassing to say them out loud. Isn't that kind of like the same thing Okazaki is always saying? I want to be friends. Come on, me and Okazaki just want to be friends with you, Yanagi. Give in. Join us. Be one of us. But I do think we should get to know each other better since we're working together. Yet, Yanagi's expression had soured. Oh no.
Sorry, but I don't like it when people pry into my private business.
Oh no, shut down.
I'll cooperate with you, of course, but you shouldn't get too close to me.
Oh. It wasn't a blunt turn down, but it was unquestionably meant as a rejection. He doesn't want to get involved with me. Surprisingly, I felt much more shocked by that revelation than I'd imagined.
You won't gain much useful information from learning about me.
I probably looked pathetic right now. Smiling bitterly, Yanagi gently patted me on the head. Like he was comforting a child. Not what I want.
Besides, I'm a boring man. And Emoto would be much more interesting to talk about.
To talk about? If we gotta talk about somebody, let's talk about him. As Yanagi walked ahead, terminating the conversation, I watched him, feeling lonely. I want to know about you, Yanagi. I blurted something out spontaneously. He stopped and turned around. I didn't want him to think I was annoying. I shouldn't cling to him like this. But I couldn't lie about how I felt. Ever since they suddenly put this collar on me, I've been uneasy about what I should do, or what would happen to me, but when I see you try so hard to protect everyone you possibly can in this town, it makes me want to help you. I just want you to acknowledge me. I want us to be equals, or even just a bit closer. But I guess that's annoying to you.
Sorry.
Huh?
You're not a bother to me. To be honest, it's just problematic. It's not your fault at all. I just can't get too attached to anyone.
Because you think you're Spider-Man, and if you care about anybody, then they're going to kidnap that person and use them as leverage. You said that you cut ties with your family, but I don't want to be protected like that. I want to fight together. I want to be someone you can count on, like the others back at the office. Can't you let me have that goal?
You probably expect too much from me. I don't live up to the image you have of me. I'm not worthy of your trust.
Let me be the judge of that. You have no idea how low my standards could possibly be. Worthy?
Don't think too hard about it. Like I told you earlier, I'm a boring man. So don't waste your thoughts on me.
Again, let me be the judge of that! With that, Yanagi started walking again. He probably wouldn't listen to me again if I tried to stop him again. And to think I thought I'd managed to get a little closer to him. It must have all been in my mind. I felt very distant from him now. Hell no, keep trying. Keep poking him. December 13th, 9 a.m. I stared at an unexpected discovery in my files. No new incidents had occurred since the last, but it was only a matter of time. In my effort to help prevent the next crime, I was wrangling a huge pile of files from HQ. What does this mean? The June X Day incident. An explosion occurred at a middle school, killing many students. I'm particularly interested in that one. Later, this had been established not to be an accident and classified as an X Day crime, sending shockwaves through the public. There was a school festival prior to the explosion, so the criminals had a huge window of opportunity to plant the bomb. The range of possible suspects was vast. Because of this, June files were considerably thicker than the other month's incidents. The list of related people was massive. Among the plethora of names, a familiar one stood out to me. Akito Sera. See, Kazuki is totally surrounded by potential terrorists. He's like the flame that draws the moths. Kazuki's best friend. If he went to that middle school, that wouldn't really be a problem, but the problem was the addendum. It was his sister who attended the school. She'd killed herself 2 years prior. To think Akito had that kind of past, I had no idea. Yet according to the preliminary memo, he had been cleared as a suspect. He has an alibi. By now, though, I recognize this as a commonality of the X-Day events. The X-Day crimes are substitute murders. An alibi doesn't necessarily prove innocence. What if something at the school was the cause of Akito's sister's suicide? Had he tasked someone with carrying out his revenge? So is it like that entire class was bullying her, that's why the whole class was killed? What if, like the July and August incidents, he'll try and exact revenge himself next? A chill ran down my spine. No, I don't want to suspect him. Kazuki's face came to mind. I can't let prejudice cloud my judgment. I needed to study these documents further. I had to act carefully if I wanted to help prevent the next incident. I shook my head to clear my thoughts. I had a slight headache.
What's up, Hoshino? You look out of it again. I'm going on patrol. Want to join me?
Yes, I'll come with you. I nodded and sluggishly arose in response to Mochida's invitation. I wanted to keep going over the files, but I also didn't want to neglect my job in SRCPO. My SRCPO duties had decreased since I joined investigations, but I still went on patrols in my assigned area.
Well, let's get going then.
Yes, sir. Time to get some fresh air and sunshine. My doubts remained. My heart felt like it was swathed in gloom. I had no way of dispelling it now, so I followed after Mochida. You need to let people know about that, though, because, like I said, conflict of interest. I'm pretty sure they're pretty strict about that in Japan as well as they are in America. It just makes sense. You don't let people investigate cases that they're personally invested in.
How many times did I come here?
Oh, hello, Mr. Yanagi, you're back.
Hi.
You look like you're in a good mood today. You laughed a bit earlier. I got a feeling I know why you're here today.
I see. May I ask you to help me with this today?
Yes, of course. My, you bought such lovely flowers today. I'll arrange them for you. Whenever you come by, this room always gets just a little bit brighter. It's thanks to the flowers you keep bringing. How many years have you been coming here? I'm sure you're familiar with everyone who works here by this point.
I have been coming here almost 10 years now.
My, how time flies. There aren't any other visitors, so I'm sure that you're the only one that he looks forward to. Please, take your time.
Thank you.
Oh, so the man in the memories isn't dead? He's just, comatose?
She took the bouquet with her as she left the room, leaving me alone with him. It had been years. The only reason I visited this institution was simply to see his face. I knew it was pointless, but I brought flowers with me every time I came. I do it, even knowing that what I'd done could not be forgiven. We never even talk. He couldn't talk or even move a finger. Still, they claimed he retained consciousness. So I wondered what he thought of me.
Oh, he's actually conscious. Oh, God, that's horrible.
Why was I chasing the cases? Why did I ever come here? Maybe I wanted him to forgive me.
Wait, he can probably communicate through eye movements. At least.
In here, time stood still for me. I couldn't take a single step forward. That was what it felt like.
I wonder if he's tried communicating with him, or if he just keeps going there as penance. Good evening. Is Yanagi... Oh, He's not here, I see. Oh, I'll go home now.
Oh, hey, Hoshino.
Yanagi is going to go out tonight. I had rushed to the office as soon as I could after work and was greeted by Enomoto and Sasazaka. There was a reason for my speed, of course. Akito's name had jumped out at me while I was reviewing the files on June. I thought I could discuss it with Yanagi.
Did you have some business with him?
Yes. Yes. It's about the investigation. Where is he? At another crime scene?
Who knows? Nothing new has happened since 2 days ago.
That's true. Even Yanagi's got some personal things he'd rather not talk about.
Yanagi is pretty private. Lots of mystery swirling around that guy. Don't tell me. He's somewhere luring in hot babes with his air of mystery?
What the hell? Alright, you jumped to some weird conclusions, Enomoto, but that one kind of tops the charts.
That's the one thing that's an impossibility. Don't project your imagination onto him. Hey, I'm not like that either. Don't create inaccurate portrayals of me. You're right. Why would women want to be around you? Your level of vice is like a middle schooler's. Hey, if I felt like it, I could pick up a lady or two. You mean you'd earn enough to catch a gold digger? Sounds like an Enomoto way to waste your life. Don't just assume I'd waste my life.
While listening to Enomoto and Sasazaka bicker amongst themselves, I wondered where Yanagi had gone off to. Why don't you text him? Despite my wondering, I had no idea. I didn't even know enough to hazard a guess. Yesterday, when I tried to learn more about him, he completely shut me down. Ever since he told me not to get any closer, I had been feeling pretty gloomy. Yanagi.
Well, don't bother worrying about him. Yanagi's a pretty upright guy. He wouldn't actually commit a crime or do anything even morally gray.
That's not what I'm worried about. Okay?
And he isn't like Shiraishi, where you're afraid or even thinking with that guy scheming. Nope.
Right. I wasn't sure whether to agree or not. I didn't really care. I was just anxious.
And he isn't a lusty loser like Mineo, who's so wound up he cries when he watches dramas.
And now we gotta hear one about Sasazaka.
I don't cry. Liar. Last time I saw you glued to the TV, red-faced. I thought you were mad, but then you just started bawling your eyes out. Well, that was... What else was I supposed to do? It was so heartbreaking.
Their verbal sparring cheered me up a little bit. Yanagi wouldn't act senselessly. Even if he wanted to avoid talking about his issues, he'd work with me when on the cases. At least that's what I hoped.
I'm back.
Good timing.
Oh, speak of the devil.
Good evening, Yanagi.
Hey, Hoshino. She said she has something to ask you.
Ah, right, yes. It's about the June case. It's not something to ask, I have something to tell.
There's something I need to look into. I'll be back in a second, just wait here.
Understood. I took Yanagi's jacket as he went to the kitchen. I assumed to make coffee, and laid it on the back of the couch. Huh? I caught a whiff of a faint, unfamiliar fragrance from Yanagi's jacket. It stood out from his usual tobacco scent, but this was... flowers? That was unexpected. I had no idea what he'd been doing with flowers. Oh, don't be an Enomoto. Don't jump to any conclusions.
Enomoto, Sasazaka, you two get back to work. Okay. Got it.
Yanagi watched Enomoto and Sasazaka return to working, and then took a seat at the low table between them. As I expected, he returned from the kitchen with a steaming hot pot of coffee and 2 mugs.
So, what were you saying about June?
Right. I was reviewing the people of interest from the incident again, and one of them stood out.
Akito Sera.
So you noticed him too. Even if Akito had motive, he had a perfect alibi, so he wasn't officially a suspect. But if the X-Day murders were proxy killings, and we considered this month's incident, he'd be a suspect because he had motive, especially since he had a squeaky clean alibi. We also couldn't rule out a connection to the other cases.
I'd also been thinking about contacting you regarding this case.
You should have said something earlier. My brother's been in danger this whole time.
Akito Sera, 18 years old. He goes to the same school as your brother.
I've been prepared for this. I was here to talk to him about it after all. Still, I hadn't expected Yanagi to redirect everything. I was considerably shaken. Yes, he's actually my brother's friend.
Wait, seriously?
Before that class was killed by the explosion, a student in that class committed suicide. Akito Sera was a grieving relative. Back in June, he popped up as a possible suspect.
But he had a perfect alibi.
We've moved beyond that premise, Mineo.
Oh, right.
I didn't want to believe that Kazuki's friend, was involved in X Day. Hanako Kobayashi and Yasuhiro Ishiki, I hoped it was a coincidence or some mistake that Kazuki's social circle was all linked to X Day. Is it just a coincidence, or...?
We haven't confirmed anything yet, but the probability is extremely high.
Yeah. Yanagi had seen that I didn't want to believe the possibility. He addressed me directly while I was still attempting to collect my thoughts.
Hoshino, can you establish contact with Sera through your brother?
His immediate follow-up threw me for quite a loop. You want me to contact Akito?
The police are already acting to try and prevent the next incident from occurring. But the cops' response time is obviously something Adonis has calculated. They're just using their pawns to toy with us now. Even when the perpetrators are caught, they get no closer to Adonis. This is amusement for the terrorists as they prepare for X Day.
I suppose you're right. When the people who carried the murders were caught, their memories were erased. They had no recollection of their crimes or Adonis.
Nonetheless, we can't ignore any damage that we think we can prevent. Put bluntly, this is a race against time. Akito Sera may be the one to carry out the next incident.
There was still enough time to stop a murder from happening, while Akito was still just someone with a grudge. We and Police HQ were both running out of time to stop another crime from happening. If the police decided to arrest Akito, they would likely use force. Before that happens, I have to act. I knew well what I had to do. Still, my heart wavered. I had decided to trust Kazuki, but now I had to suspect his friend.
There's no time to waste. You're our best option, so we need your help here. If I go, he'll probably just suspect me. I know you can get him to open up.
I think I did actually, get through to him in Mineo's route. Yanagi punctuated his statement with a gaze that was sincere yet stern. I had to decide right now. I hated how anxious I felt. Let's see. Of course, leave it to me. I will show you my worth. I understand. Leave it to me. I was terrified of discovering the truth. If Akito was involved with X Day, I had no idea what I would say to Kazuki. Nonetheless, I was happy that Yanagi was relying on me.
Sorry. I know this is difficult for you.
No, you're right. I'm the one for this job. I'm already acquainted with Akito. Akito also already knows that I'm a public officer, so he may be suspicious of me seeking him out, but I'm willing to give it a shot. If Akito was actually involved in X Day, I didn't want another death on his conscience. This was both for Akito and Kazuki. It was better to confront the truth.
We're counting on you.
Okay. Yanagi smiled as an attempt to dispel my anxiety. Kazuki stays over at Akito's house pretty often. I could open by saying that I wanted to thank him for always looking after my brother. He came over to our place sometimes, so I could probably arrange a way to meet him. I'll call my brother right away. Clenching my fists, I stood up. Okay, and we'll stop there, and we'll see if we can deal with Akito in the next episode. I wonder if Ishiki is still innocent in this route, as he was in the other one. I really hope he is because I like him. He seems like a really nice guy. Well, anyway, again, Hope to see you in that next video or some of my other ones. And I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye bye, everybody.